What a perfect time to vlog. Vulnerability. I'm gonna look up the definition for you. Couldn't spell it. I typed VUN, but it's VULNERABILITY. Vulnerability. The equality or state of being exposed to the possibility of being attacked or harmed, either physically or emotionally. I said vulnerability because I'm crying, I'm emotional. I'm very emotional, but over the years, I've learned how to keep it inside and keep it hidden. And I just think I do a good job at it. I feel like the reason why I became so good at it was because back in the day, I used to cry a lot. And I didn't like the response from people when I cried. I feel like a lot of times things used to happen to me and I cry and people would change their whole little type mood, and I didn't like it. It seemed fake to me in the sense where somebody would be teasing you or messing with you or hurting you or something crazy, and then they wait till you cry to say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it." And it just seemed so fake to me. So I seen it and I studied it in a way where I came to the conclusion that people just be trying to I see that people are displaying compassion when they see you down and stuff, and it's like I didn't like that people showed a different level of love just because you was hurt. Like, show me that love ahead of time, and maybe I wouldn't be hurt as much in a sense. But basically, I didn't like people coming to me because I was crying. People seeing me, and after I stopped crying, basically, I show my emotions on my face a lot. So it's like, sometimes I'll be somewhere and just somebody would just see and be able to tell that I was down, and I didn't like people coming up to me and being able to tell, stuff like that. But basically, nothing crazy happened. My cat didn't die. I'm doing fine. I'm great. But I just got done having a conversation with my uncle, and it made me emotional. It made me think, and afterwards, I was just sitting here thinking and just mad, frustrated, angry, and not angry in the sense of hatred or anything. It's just in not understanding, not getting it, I guess. Ignorance, if that's what you want to call it. But basically, I think she walked into my car. She is walking to my car. I wonder why. But anyways, yeah, I was just sitting here thinking, and I mean, at the end of the day, it is what it is. You may not know what it is, you may not be able to describe it, explain it, and feel it, whatever, but it is what it is. So I think she getting that nigga a sucker. Not to say that nigga, but she's getting her little her nephew a sucker out my car. She know I keep candy in the car. She's just like, eating or giving out stuff to kids, I guess, or something, but I get it. Anyways, afterwards, I was sitting here and I was thinking, I was thinking about my girl, and I was thinking because it's like, I feel like she ignorant in the sense of knowing how I am. And like she don't truly know how I am, and it's because it's rare. Like it's rare that I'm put in these situations. It's like it takes certain things to put me in certain situations. Like I'm emotional, but it's like the way I look at it. It is what it is. So like if somebody random doing something to me, it's not the same severity as if something is if it's from somebody you know and somebody you love and stuff like that. So basically, I don't know, I guess I look at a lot of situations differently, so I don't get as emotionally attached. But to give you the backstory, I was talking to my uncle, and while I was speaking to him last night, it's funny because I almost cried last night, but I held it in. It was something that and it's funny because I was thinking like I don't care that people see me crying. It's like I'm not embarrassed to be crying or whatever the case may be. I don't feel like it's a sign of weakness and stuff like that because I know why I cry. But I was just thinking about it. Anyways, last night, he was explaining how I don't want to misquote him, but basically, I felt as if he would like a lot of times he'd speak about how she should leave me because of the way I am and how much I don't do in a sense. And it was like he was uplifting her, but he was putting me down in a way in my eyes. And later he said that he didn't mean it that way or whatever. He apologized or whatever. And this morning, he called me to explain it and clear up. No, stopped up now. He was clearing up why he did it the way he did it and trying to make an understanding out of it. And that was cool. It was what it was. We kept it pushing. We kept it pushing it in today.
Hey, the other side.
He knew what she was saying. Don't put it on the floor. But yeah, we were talking, and he was basically, it was attached to yesterday, and basically he was saying he had. I kind of got to give you context because it's important on how that conversation started. But basically, he was letting me know that he think it needs to be a balance, and with it needing to be a balance, he thinks that I have a network of people who want to make sure I'm happy and stuff like that. He think I have a circle that makes me happy. Cool. So he was basically saying that he wanted to be that part that made sure I was doing what I needed to do. And where I took stance on the conversation is, but you gotta understand that you're determining what's best for me. What's needed in my life, what makes me happy. So basically, like, he made it seem like his main goal is for me to be happy, not about money and the right job and stuff like that. But I'm like, if you're pushing things that make money because you think money is what makes happiness genuinely, then you're pushing not happiness, wealth, and stuff like that. Prioritize, like, you're putting that on the main tone of home, and you're pushing me towards that. You're not. I feel like when he tries to help me, he doesn't really push for my happiness as much as anything else. He asks, am I working every day? Am I in school? Am I doing something that pertains to education and knowledge and I don't know, growth in some aspect? But he doesn't know, or he doesn't cater to what I desire to do. So to help get him to understand what I was saying, I thought it was best to ask him questions and get to know what he knew. So basically, we got to the conversation. I'm like, he explained his stuff, and it was finally time for me to talk. And I'm like, what do you think make me happy? You say you want me to be happiest. In order for you to want me to pursue happiness, you, in my opinion, you would see what I want, what makes me happy in life. So I asked him, what makes me happy? What makes me happy? What do you think makes me the happiest? So I would know that he's targeting what makes me happy. Because if he think money is what makes me happiest, and that's not what makes me happiness, he could be leaning me in the wrong direction. But I asked him that, and I expected him to say a hobby that I have, such as basketball, videography, photography, making music, something like that. But he said talking. And it's funny because when he said talking, he threw me off. He really did, because I didn't expect that to be an option. But it's true. It's true. I love talking. And it's true to the point where I was just balled up. I was just balled up in tears and very emotional. And I feel better when I started putting it on the vlog. And it's like one of them situations where I feel like a lot of people are sad, or I'm embarrassed. They're embarrassed to cry in front of other people and people to see them vulnerable. But I don't think I'm as embarrassed. But talking, like, I like talking about my problems. I like being able to express the way I feel. It makes me happy to talk. So he was actually right. To look at it, talking might be one of the things that make me most happiest. So I appreciate that he said that, because he was right. He knew, and I didn't even know. I wouldn't even said that. I would have probably said something like photography, which I know is not what makes me the most happiest. I just didn't think it was talking. Maybe it's not talking, but right now, maybe it is. So basically, after he said talking, I asked him a second question, I think. And the second question was, first I asked him, I think I asked him 3 questions, so I'm trying to understand what 3 questions I asked him. I think the first question was, I don't know. All I know is I asked him, what do he think I'm doing to pursue happiness if talking makes me happy? What do I do to, yeah, that was the second question. What do I do to make me happy? How do I pursue it? And he said, talking to family. He said, I talk to family. I come around. I have phone calls, stuff like that. I'm like, you're right. That's cool. But I'm like, is that it? And as soon as I said, is that it? He transitioned it. He didn't answer the question. He said, I'm asking him questions and I'm not telling him what it's for, and that's a problem for him. He felt like he didn't verbatim say it hurt him, but he didn't like that it made him feel some type of way that I was asking him questions and not giving him a reason why, or to let him know why I was asking the questions that I was asking him. So I reverted it back to the courtroom in the classroom, and in the courtroom, lawyers ask questions and they don't tell you because they're trying to come up with a way to go against you in a way. Go against you. And in the classroom, the teacher's not going against you. They want to help you get the answer sometimes. So they say, well, what's 2 plus 2? Well, if you add 4 to that, what will you have? Okay? Or 2 plus 2, well, what if you add another 2? What if you add 2 more? Well, what's 2 times 3? So in the teacher aspect, it's not against. It's just they're finding a way to help you understand. So basically, I tried to explain how it's not always negative when someone's asking you questions and they're not telling you what's going on. Sometimes, it's just it's a tactic that they want to use to get their message across or convey the message. So I'm like, I told him, I don't want you to have bias. I don't want to build the situation. I want your true and honest answers. And I want to ask you without you knowing what I'm asking, so I can get or respond based off your initial thoughts, not off thoughts that you stimulate based off what I'm saying. And after that, he was just like basically saying like, yeah, he ain't, in a way, he not gonna answer the questions without me giving information. Like, he's not conforming to that. Like, that's not what he wants to do. I'm like, cool. But that's where I wanted to understand it. I'm like, so basically you're not going to answer my questions because I didn't formulate the conversation the way you wanted. And it's like, he had a good point. He's like, he's not comfortable with the way I'm doing it. I can do things to make him feel more comfortable. I could, start telling him, and it would make him comfortable instead of just trying to whatever. And I get it. It's cool. If I really wanted to ask him the questions that I wanted to ask him, he would be right. I would need, it would be better for me to just say why, whatever, and get that question, get the result that I'm looking for. But the situation stimulated me more than a question at this point. I didn't think that he would be the type of person to say, oh no, I'm not gonna answer if you don't tell me why, and just leave it at that instead of giving me a chance and answering, considering I wasn't asking him anything that could get him in legal trouble. I wasn't asking him anything that can paint him out to be a bad person, in my opinion, in any way, and it wouldn't even hint to be that. So it's like, what negativity could he have gotten? Why would he feel threatened or feel the need to protect himself from me asking him questions? Why does he feel bothered by me asking him questions about myself? And it's like, why does he feel so bothered that he's not even willing to do it for me, knowing that that's something that I won't, so I'm thinking about that, and after that, we start talking about it, and he was just explaining how I'm sorry, I kind of thought can't really depict everything, but explaining how, I start transitioning to if I tap you and you say it hurts, I won't believe that it really hurts. I'm going to assume you just don't want me touching you and stuff like that. And he was like, it's up to me to believe him or not, or whatever the case may be. But it's like, I just didn't get it. And this is like, I'm kind of cutting it short, but basically we went back and forth over that and we talked about it. But at the end of the day, I didn't ask the question and I didn't get to like the bottom of the thoughts. And it's like, it's not a big deal. I'm not tripping. It's just the mindset that I feel like if the situation was important to me, I still wouldn't have been able to ask him out. I still wouldn't have been able to get it the way I wanted it. Maybe it's like me being stingy, spoiled in a way where I want things to be my way. Something like that, but I just didn't understand it and I didn't expect it. But I ended up crying about that because it was touchy. And it was hard for me to explain, and I was just like, I couldn't even get my words out for real. But ultimately, I wanted to record this video because, like I was saying with the thing with her, I realized that she never really seen me upset, mad, and crying over a conversation for real. I mean, it happened once, but not really. So it's like, a lot of times people think I'm mad or angry or upset, but it's like, it's levels. And it's like, your own levels. You know where you're at. And it's like, other people, they might not be able to tell. And it's like, when I was thinking about that, I know the other day I was thinking about YouTube and vlogs and stuff, and like, basically, if I was to die today, not today, but if I was to have a kid and I was to die, the kid might not be able to know me, but at least they'll be able to see how I was. And vulnerability is one thing that I don't get to show to the kid or people in general. Like, I don't really get to show my emotions as much because I'm not as affected on a daily basis. So this is one of them situations where I got to show me crying, I guess, and me feeling some type of way, and that side of it. But basically, also, I wanted to be able to get to say what I said, what I didn't get to say. Like, ultimately, I didn't get to finish asking him questions, but even though he didn't hear me out, I still feel good being able to ask it or put the questions in the air on here. Like, maybe I don't get to get my closure with our conversations, but at least I get to say what I wanted to say, and I know it's her. I know that it's going to be uninterrupted if I'm speaking to myself, to the camera. And maybe even as a third, if nothing else, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm not looking at the situation right. But maybe I'll grow within the next 20 years, 10 days, 30 years. And I'll be able to see why I was wrong in the future. I'll be able to see why I should have understood and why I shouldn't have felt the way I felt about it. But basically, what happened was, or what I was trying to get at was talking. I love to talk. So I asked him, what am I doing to pursue me loving to talk? And it's like, he got some, but one of the biggest things is what I'm doing right now. I vent to YouTube. I love talking. It makes me happy. I love to vent to YouTube. And it's like, I don't know if he doesn't know about my vlogs or not, But I didn't want to just say, oh, vlogs, and he already know. I wanted to see if he knew that I make vlogs. But it's like, I got over 100 vlogs, I think, right now. Of me just talking. I got podcasts. I make music. I write. If that's what makes me happiest, why aren't you asking me about my vlogs? Oh, did you record any vlogs? Did you upload any vlogs? Did you make any music? Like, if this is what makes me happiest, I was just curious, why doesn't he target that? Why don't that get mentioned? Like, I don't think he ever asked me about my YouTube vlogs. And that's why I was asking him questions. Maybe he don't know about them. But it's like, because he shut me out and he didn't allow me to ask them questions, which I think I was only going to ask him those 3 questions. I just wanted to know if he knew about the vlog already. I could have just told him I just was checking to see if you knew about my YouTube vlog. It wasn't nothing crazy. It's just the mentality that he wasn't willing to listen. And it's the situation where he distinguished listening and asking a question. He wasn't willing to answer. But if you're not willing to answer, then I feel like it's tied. If you're not willing to answer the question, then you won't listen to the conversation. You won't listen to the reasoning that I'm asking, in a sense. It's weird. But yeah, we're having fun, man. At the end of the day, never got to the bottom of it, but I didn't get to actually see, but yeah, like, in my mind, if you know somebody is happy doing something and you truly want to make them happy, you would target what makes them happy. You wouldn't push more. Well, I'm not saying you wouldn't, but why not push more on what truly makes that person happy? Why not help? Why not find ways for me to talk more, or whatever the case may be, do more? So that was that. I feel like I thought of something when I was speaking about the listening and questioning thing, but I forgot. But I mean, yeah, that's that.